A soul family is not your cluster. So we'll describe a few things for you. Number one, you all come from a certain place in the non-physical dimension. And let's just call it a quote unquote continent. It is not a continent, but it is a large land mass. So do away with the idea that we are energy mist in the air and that we are vibrational beings that just rotate as though we are the chakras. We are not the chakras. We use them, but we are not them. You all come from one of these individual large land masses. Now we just say that's a nationality, to use the type of words that you use. And then you narrow it down from there. Soul community, soul family, cluster, higher being, which includes your next level up and you. So your soul family can be quite large, because all of you have the opportunity to have as many lives as you want. There's no requirement for you to have a certain amount, although everyone does it at least twice. And some do it 400, 500, 600. The ones that really like it, close to 900 or 1,000 in each platform. So when we talk about these land masses, we always like to throw in here a little bit. It is a multi-dimensional reality. Some of your healthier, safer sci-fi shows like Supergirl, Superman, The Flash, things like that. Galactic Federation, those kind of things. It is multidimensional. And there are a number of these different platforms, but they're all Earth. And you only participate in one. That's not alternate reality. It is a different environment, different soul intentions, and a different purpose for each of them. And so you all are here, so let's just call it whatever number you like, because they're not numbered. And you cannot get to the other ones when you are inside one. So let's just say under the dome. When you are under the dome, you can't scoot out of the dome and get into under the dome of a different Earth platform. You cannot. It is not designed that way, therefore impossible. And so we always have someone that says, but is it truly impossible? And we say it is, because it was not created that way. Now, could it be that we add something to the platform structures? Of course. So there is no limitation, but in the design that has been used forevermore, it is not included. So it's not a limitation, it's just not included. You are in the world that you are in, and you selected it. And the reason you selected is because you want to meet people from all of the other nations. The all is 14. And so there's 14 different land masses. And just think of it that way. It is very far apart. And so you don't float there, fly there, bike there, train there. It's not like that at all. We mind meld, and you do too, because you're all vibrational beings. And so you cast your awareness out and you connect with someone and you communicate, and then you disconnect. You connect and you disconnect. You connect and you disconnect. So in this Earth, this platform that you are in, all 14 participate here at the same time. And so when you are moving about your neighborhood, your community, your environment, when you're traveling abroad, whatever you're doing, do meet people. Do meet people. Because that's how you meet soul friends, soul family members, or other beings that are within your entire soul nation. All right, soul nation. So how many do you have? Untold number. Because as you have a human physical life, and after you pass from this life and you go back to the quote other side, out of the dome, under the dome or out of the dome, when you're back over here, out from under the dome, then you are a soul being. And so let's say that your stream of consciousness, all the past lives that you have had, you're number 300. That's 300 in just your stream of consciousness. That means all of your past lives, your lineage. And you can have hundreds in your soul family. And so the identities, the individual people could be thousands. And then you have many, many, many soul families inside different soul communities. Sometimes we talk about it like a gated community. You all live in neighborhoods now. And when you go into a gated community, you have different houses and you have a different number of people that live in the house. And some of these gated communities just have open land space, and you're building more houses and building more houses and building more houses and building more houses. So these soul families keep getting bigger because that's what you do. And so when you are, picture it like this. So let's say you're in a gated community, and there's many gated communities in your area. And you observe the homes, and one of those homes is yours. And when you go home, let's say there's 7 people, because you are all of the size to still be conjoined. When you branch out and learn more and different things about what conscious life is about, then you separate from the conjoined. In this case, we're talking about 7. You separate, and then you build your own house. But you're still right there. So you connect with those that are within your unit. We call that a cluster. That is your cluster. Now, what do you do with that cluster? You live all of your lives with them. Now, how many are in a cluster? It could be 50. So just picture mansion after mansion, mansion. And so those are the 50 that you interchange roles with. They could be your best friend, they could be your father, they could be your daughter, they could be your mother, they could be your uncle, and that's about as far as it goes, grandparents included. And so not all of your aunts, uncles, grandchildren, grandparents, sisters, brothers, mom, dad, not all of them. Now, if you get second cousin, you're starting to get a little bit outside of the confines. So it's usually in that nuclear family, a generation up and out. And then you move in and out. But not all of those are from your soul cluster. There can be others. So let's just say for a moment that you are getting ready to move into this physical life. And along with you, in a span of about 10 years before you are born and 10 years after, so there could be, somewhere between that amount of time, there's going to be 40 from your soul family. But they could be in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, let's say that your mother is a soul connection from your cluster, and you've got 40 from your soul family. Now, those could be people that you meet anywhere in the world. But from your cluster, maybe your mother is your cluster, but your father is from a different gated community. How do you meet that person? Connection. This mind meld connection. And you start to meet more people, meet more people, meet more people. How do you do that? In the physical worlds. That's what we use the physical worlds for. And we meet more people, and then we create a bond. Not like a intimate bond. It's like a cord. It's a connection of, I know your soul signature, and I know your identity signature. And it is like a first name and surname. And so you have a base signature and then your personal identity signature. And so when you come upon people and you exchange a handshake, or now this does happen. It's not every time, because law of attraction is always at play. But every once in a while, you're walking down the sidewalk and it's kind of busy and somebody brushes up against you as they're walking by. Now, it could be that the sidewalk is busy. Or it could be intuition drew the two of you together and you just bumped shoulders and the bond was strengthened. And that's all it takes. And that means when both of you get back over here, you have an even easier time communicating, an even easier time. So in the very, very beginning, if it's just a thin thread because you met for the first time and you're in different gated communities, then it's a thin thread and you have to really focus and concentrate to get your message over to that being. And they have to do the same. And the more you use it, the more you get to know their soul signature really, really well. And so someone like that, you might build in to be in the family unit so that, boom, nice and easy, nice and easy. It strengthens, and now you just, boop, mind meld. And you can communicate. You communicate that way. Now, but also here in this physical world, you can meet someone that is outside of your nationality. Now, we're not talking about the nationalities that you have in the world here. Those are all man-made created, but it is very similar. So we use the concept. And so you could meet someone, there could be, let's just say we've got Deborah and we've got Jeannie right here on the camera. You could both be from two different land masses. And if you are here week after week after week, your energy will start to vibrate. And when you both pass, you might see that you had a little bit of a translucent connection with someone from a different landmass. Those you are always drawn to, always drawn to. But in that case, you need a communicator, someone that it's not a profession, but it's their forte. And you need that communicator to help you connect until that bond is very, very strong. And then later, you learn to travel. But you don't take your body and go there. You take your awareness and you send it. It's like sending it from California to Timbuktu, and it flies over here. And that's how we do it. But when you are taking that awareness and sending it, then you always need someone to assist you, no matter who you are. So let's say that communicator, that expert communicator, if they were communicating to someone in a different land structure, they too would choose a communicator to help their awareness to get there. When their awareness gets there, then they observe, and they observe only. And sometimes we do just observe to, using your terms again, identify what your culture is like. Now, why do we only observe? Because we do not know the language. We do not know the language. We all speak in vibrational tones, and so do you. You just use voice box. You use sound vibration. We don't use sound vibration. We use a different kind of technology vibration. So how do you communicate in those other land masses? Well, you can learn the language. And then on this side of the house, you become channeler, ER. When you are a channeler, then you speak through that awareness function in the other land. It is how it works. We know it sounds kind of hokey, and that's okay. That's okay, because all of your minds are just absorbing it, because that makes you more tuned into your non-physical teacher so that your intuition rises. Because when your intuition rises, then you can send your awareness to another gated community or further and further and further, depending on how strong your awareness function will go accurately. So here in this physical world, it is a training environment. And you're here for a couple of things. Number one, strengthening your intuition, and then training your mind to become channeled. Channeled is spoken word out loud. Clairvoyant. Words, thought in the mind's eye. Pictures, thought in the mind's eye. And those are the two. So it's very interesting. It is kind of a juxtaposition, because many of you, there are a few of you that are channeled over here. And you have a, let's just say, expedition guide that helps you send your awareness to a different landmass. And then you have a communicator. We call those the channelers. And they speak through you so that you have their language, but your awareness. It's your awareness, your thought, but someone else is speaking your thought in the other language. We know it sounds a little hard to picture, but that's it. So when you have strong intuition here, then it is supreme over here because it's just not under the dome and you have all of your faculties are all together. Now, if you learn channeled in the physical life, you will become a teacher of it and a communicator of it, meaning you will help others that are traveling to talk. You're a foreign language expert. Isn't that funny? Sometimes the world that you live in really is created in the likeness of what's over here.